course right now.
You are?
So, yeah, so we have to make sure that, it looks good, it smells good, and then you taste it.
Awesome. I will.
So this has been on our menu for 14 years.
Ooh, I have
This
to
is
try it.
an original, like an OG recipe.
Welcome to Cooking with the Nguyen, Chef Todd. This is Stephanie, and thank you for coming. And I am very excited to get to know you, and especially as a chef to a chef, I want that conversation.
Wonderful.
I want to know everything about you, how you start your business, how you grow it, especially during COVID. I want to know how can you went through it.
We lost a lot of good restaurants and
Yes.
Good businesses during COVID.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
So many changes, and it was like a constant changing. And we're now just trying to change things back. And yeah, I'm ready for some stability.
But yes, I actually have some tea prepared for you. So this is Vietnamese tea, right? So usually in Vietnamese culture, when we have guests over, we always offer tea. It's same thing when you go to Vietnamese restaurant. Mostly we're gonna offer you either a glass of tea or water, but mostly tea. So
Is it the right color? You eat with your eyes first.
yes,
So.
yes. Your eyes, your smell. It's lovely.
I'm taking a wine course right now.
You
And
are?
So we have to make sure that, it looks good, it smells good, and then you taste it.
Awesome. I would love to.
That's how I feel about coffee. I don't drink it, but I love the smell
I love
of
the
it.
smell of it. Coffee is, I have to have coffee every single day. Just morning, that's my first thing. Like you have
I have tea.
Like I have to have coffee, and then tea I drink almost like maybe 1 or 2 cups a day. Even before I go to bed, I can have tea. But coffee in the morning.
I like to have peppermint tea before I go to bed.
I do have
it
some
settles me.
peppermint mint in the gardens. I
lovely.
do, yeah. So tell me a little bit about you. You was born in Canada, or
I was
born in Canada?
I was born in Canada. I have lived in Kitchener most of my life. I lived in Ottawa for about 5 years, and then moved back when I had kids.
I have 3. How many do you have?
I have 3.
Oh,
Yep.
we can handle them.
Yeah.
Then we can handle the business.
Easier.
How old is
So
your eldest?
my oldest is 18, so she's
Okay.
at university now. She goes to York in Toronto, and then I have almost 17-year-old. He'll be 17 this month, and then I have a 15-year-old.
Okay, so you just passed that.
Yes, yeah. It gets easier.
It get easier. So you said that you lived in Ottawa for 5 years. What do you do there?
I actually went to teachers college. So when
Were you teaching?
I didn't actually teach.
Oh, okay.
Because I went to Laurier for my undergrad, so in Waterloo, and I learned about history and geography, and I was like, what do I do with a history and geography degree? I can be a teacher, I guess. So I decided I'd go to teachers college, but it didn't really fuel my fire. There was no passion there. And so I had been working in restaurants since I was 16, and all through school I kept going, like that was my side job, right? And so when I lived in Ottawa, and then when I moved back to Kitchener, I was always working in restaurants, and then I'm like, why don't I just do this? Why don't I just make this happen and be my job? So
Because you're comfortable with it, and you're just good, naturally
and
good.
I love it. It makes me happy. Like it fulfills me.
Oh.
It fills my teacup.
Awesome. So we actually have the same, similar. I came to Canada when I was 17. And then I started.
Did you come to Guelph or
No,
Toronto?
Toronto. I went to Toronto first. We lived there for about 7 years, and then we moved down here about 13 years ago.
Okay.
And then, but the same thing with you. How do you say, like, it's only a side job.
Yeah.
But I feel so comfortable.
Yeah.
I feel I can do it naturally. I don't have to think about it. I just do it.
Yeah.
And then,
and you're exhausted when you go home.
Yes.
But it feels good.
It feels good. Yeah. And especially my mom and my brother also work for a restaurant. And then when we come down here, a couple years later, we're like, why don't we start, business? And then, of course, restaurant business is the first thing come because all of us have that experiences.
Yeah.
So when did you start your business?
About 14 years ago. Yeah. So it was, yeah.
4 years before me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It was, because I had my two children then, and I married into a new relationship, and that's how I got child number 3.
Okay.
And so I had 2 little ones at home. My daughter was 3.5.
Okay.
And my son was 1, and that's when I started the business because I needed time that wasn't with my kids.
Oh, so that's how we escape.
Yes.
By work.
I have to go to work now.
I'm going to work now. But no, sometimes, I also I do the same thing with my husband. Sometimes
you need a break.
Yes, of course you do, right? Even though we always saying that I'm blessed that my husband share. How do you say? Like he try his best to take over as much he can when he home, right?
I don't know. My husband doesn't really. So I think having a supportive partner is a big game changer for being able to do what we do.
Because for me as a woman,
he's much better at laundry than I am.
Oh. The same thing with my husband. He fold the clothes, have the store.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, honey,
how do you do that?
Do it quickly.
I just shove it in my drawer.
So, but as a business owner, I think it's so tough because our schedule, our time, it's just crazy, right? Yep. If we don't have that support, no way we can stay, not even grow. So, really have to say thank you to
thank you to our partners. Big thank you to our partners.
You do have credit. Yes. So you start the business.
Yes.
And then on your own, or you have any support? Oh, on your own.
On my own. And it was I started it while I was still with my first husband. But it was my chance to, get out, talk to adults, talk about food, talk about wine.
Yeah.
And then when I got divorced, like when I left the family home, I had to turn my little business into a real business because I needed to be able to support my kids. So I had to ramp everything up. So when I became a single mother, I had 2 employees at that point. One of them was my younger sister.
Oh, and you do have support for the family there.
Yes, yeah. My younger sister actually worked for me for 12 years.
Awesome.
She only just left about 2 years ago, and now my older sister works with me.
When I started the business, I have my brother as well.
So my mom actually, she comes in usually once a month now.
Okay.
She's retired, but she comes in and she polishes silverware for us.
Okay.
And just to get out of the house to have a break from my dad.
Oh, so as a woman, we are taking excuses.
Going to work.
To go to work just so we
family.
take a break.
Yeah.
We need that.
Yes.
Sometimes I just, go to the trail on my own. Just a little break, but then we regain that energy.
Yes.
Otherwise, I don't want to go home and crumble. Right? And then, give them all that bad energy that I should just leave them at the door before I step in. I'm trying every day.
Yep. It's tough. It's a choice, right? Like
It is a choice. It is a choice.
I think it's important to understand that we need transition time too.
Yes.
Like my husband is a school teacher, and when he's done work, he's done at like 2:30 every day. He's finished work at 2:30. He goes in early, but he's done at 2:30. And so he has from 2:30 until I get home at maybe 5:30 or 6:30 or 7:30, 8:30 sometimes. But he has all that time to decompress and to,
get refreshed.
Get refreshed, yeah. And then I walk in the door and I'm like, boom, okay, time to make supper. Or, you know, I don't even, sometimes I'm just like, I just need 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes because I have to switch gears.
But communication also the key to keep
Very important.
The relationship.
Yes.
I have to learn to communicate. And the thing, I think the pressure that we have also help us a lot. So we become stronger. If you don't have that struggle at that time, you don't went through that kind of like challenge, or you won't make decision that I have to roll this into a serious business to support the family, isn't it? So I think sometimes challenge, we accept it, but we find a way to overcome it, and then we have to. Sometimes it's not about that I'm gonna try. It's almost like I have to succeed.
You have to. Yeah.
You have to. You're gonna find a way to succeed.
It was the same thing through COVID. Like,
yes. Talk about COVID.
And so I have a lot of employees. Like for being a small, like our restaurant is very small. We only have 28 seats in the restaurant. So I really only have 3 employees that are focused on the restaurant.
Yes.
And the rest of my employees, we do catering. That's the big part of our business. So with the catering side, like we have over 40 employees. When COVID happened, I think I had about 30, maybe 28 employees at that when in that March of 2020, because we often have seasonal employees that only work until Christmas, and then they come back again in the spring. So we hadn't hired them back yet. But I had, you know, almost 30 people who were relying on me for them to support their families.
Yes.
So not only did I need to be able to help my family out, but there were all of these other families that needed a job, needed us to stay open. And so again, that was, I think, a big reason why I tried so hard. I couldn't fail. I had to succeed because there were people counting on me.
Oh, absolutely. So when COVID hit, what happened to the business?
So it was on the Friday, March 14th, I think it was. I had a meeting with my staff who were there that day. We brought them all into our boardroom and said, you know, this is happening. This is a thing. The government is shutting things down. Like, we need to be prepared for this. Hopefully it's not going to last long.
Yeah.
Which that was the case. But I said, you know, we're going to do layoffs.
Yeah.
The managers are going to stay on. Like, we kept on. So there were I had 4 employees stay on, plus our dishwasher, because then we could do deep cleaning. And he was a student, an international student. So I didn't want him to, like, if he lost his hours,
and then he had to probably go home.
So we were, for I think it was about a month that it was just the 4 of us, like me plus 4.
Yeah.
And then we were, in that month, we were trying to figure out how we could make things happen, right? So we had food in the fridge. We had tons of food in our fridge, you know, vegetables and things. So we turned a lot of that into soups.
Okay.
We turned a lot of it into meals that we could then freeze and sell. And so we decided, we took our boardroom and we turned it into a little store. So it became a small grocery store. And we had, every week we did different specials where we had freezer meals, and we had a fridge in there, and we sold other companies' sauces and teas and local cheeses and meats and things like that.
Awesome.
All out of this little store, because we already had so much in stock.
Yeah.
And we already had these relationships with these people who also, their businesses were going to start suffering now because we weren't ordering from them. No one was ordering from them. So we started selling their stuff from our store. And so we opened a little food shop, and we were able to bring some of our chefs back then because we had something for them to do every week.
Yes.
And we brought back some of our daily ops staff because they delivered. So every Tuesday and Thursday we had delivery days.
Yes.
Where we would drop off boxes to people's houses, and they could go online. We started an online store. They could go online. They could say, okay, I want this lasagna. I want this curry. I want this, all these different meals.
Awesome.
And I also want to tack on some duck breast and some cheese from wherever. And then we'd package it all up on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and we'd drive it out to their houses. So that was our first main big pivot of COVID, and I brought back a lot of my staff.
So now your business is almost like back to normal now?
Yes. So we stopped doing the store. It was a lot of work.
But it helped you to go through COVID.
Yeah. It kept our doors open and it kept our staff busy.
Yeah.
But now we're back to events, and events keep our doors open and keep our staff busy. And there's a little bit more of a profit margin there too.
So I learned that one of the reasons why many smaller businesses, especially restaurants, could not handle COVID because they did not adapt quick enough like us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a quick turnover.
It is. And then some of them I learned because they was a little bit older, like my mom generation. Mm-hmm. So for them, like social media technology, there's no way on earth they can cop into it.
Yeah.
So they cry. They don't know what to do. And I remember when I started social media, my mom don't believe in it. Mm-hmm. So imagine if my mom is the one that managed the restaurant, she could not find a way how can turn around, or even sometimes they're challenged. And I always believe every challenge have opportunity in there. You just have to see it.
Yeah.
Your mind have to be clear enough to see it.
Yeah, cry about it for a minute.
Yes.
And then problem solve.
Oh, absolutely. Because I remember the first 2 to 3 months. Oh my God, we still depending on dining. Mm-hmm. And then when the government like shut down the dining, I'm like, what I'm gonna do?
Only 10 people.
Exactly. I'm like, what I'm gonna do? I have to push the takeout. Mm-hmm. I have to do delivery or something like that. You gotta do something. I start to do packaging.
Yes.
Like sauce and stuff like that. I just trying to find so many different ways. How can I still sell my food to customer, right? But we just have to try different way to do it now.
And things like, our barbecue sauce and our salad dressings, all our tomato sauce, we started packaging all of those so that we could sell them ourselves. And then some of our things, and actually the snack I have for you to try later is one of the things that we started putting in jars.
Awesome.
And then selling through other stores.
So you guys started bottle all of those sauces at your location?
Yes. And pickling too.
Oh, I see.
So pickled vegetables, especially that first summer. Well, still to this day, we pickle everything. We pickle mushrooms, we pickle carrots, we pickle onions.
That's good.
Yeah. So when things are in season, then we pickle them for the year.
So that's also opportunity for you guys to discover the new products.
Yes.
Good. We did good. I have some. This is very traditional Vietnamese appetizer. Mm-hmm. We call spring roll. It's English, but it's in Vietnamese we call chả giò. Chả giò. Yeah. So with chả giò is in here, the filling is like mix of vegetable, a little bit of noodles, lots of kind of like taro, carrot, and stuff like that.
Okay.
But then the meat, in total of the meat, like we have vegetarian too, but the meat in the restaurant we serve pork, beef, and veggie. I actually have chicken version as well, but I haven't really introduced to anyone yet. But you can almost you can do seafood, you can do a lot of things with them. Mm-hmm. Like it's all up to you, and then we deep fry them. Mm-hmm. We also have another version like just fresh roll, white food. But today I just want to share with you spring roll. So this too is vegetarian, and this too is
it's pork. Wonderful. Yes. Thank you.
And I saw that you prepared me something. What is that?
So this has been on our menu for 14 years.
Ooh, I have to try it.
This is an original, like an OG recipe that we've been making. So we do a lot of hors d'oeuvres. We do a lot of weddings. We cater a lot of weddings, but we also do a lot of cocktail receptions. So people's birthday parties, things like that. They want passed around hors d'oeuvres.
I see.
So this is one of our very popular hors d'oeuvres. It's vegetarian. So our onion shortbread we make from scratch in our kitchen, and our kitchen is totally nut-free too, because I have a nut allergy. I'm allergic to nuts. I'm allergic to shellfish. It's awful as a chef because I love to eat everything.
But then you also, because of that, you understand a lot of things.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So with these onion shortbreads, it's flour, it's a little bit of sugar, but mostly onion seasoning, like dried onions, and then butter. So very simple to make. That's our base, and then we top that with our apple plum chutney. So apples, raisins, onions, tomatoes. It's a bit of sweet, a bit of savory. So we start that with on the stovetop with sugar and vinegars.
Yeah.
And we cook down the sugar and vinegars together, and then we add our vegetables and then our fruits, and then we add spices. So everything from like a curry seasoning, some cloves, some all those kind of warm spices we add into this one. We also do a peach one that has a lot of ginger in it and dried apricots. But our chutneys we've been making for years, and it's one of the things that we canned during COVID. And then a little goat cheese on top for that creamy.
My mouth watering.
Yeah.
Can I try it now?
Absolutely, you
and
can.
you can try the spring roll.
Fantastic.
With
We're gonna dig in.
Absolutely.
And what's our dip with the spring roll?
So this is fish sauce. So this one I make very simple as well. It's water, vinegar, and of course the fish sauce. We use the original fish sauce.
Yeah.
And then sugar. And we mix everything together.
And you put a little lime in there or no?
We use vinegar. So if you use lamb, what happened? Lamb or lemon. So what happening is you would like to use this within a few days.
Yeah.
It won't last that long.
Yep.
It somehow
it cuts down the shelf life.
Yeah. And then also the bitterness from it too.
Okay.
So that's why we actually at the restaurant we also bottle this as well.
Yeah.
So we want something that when you make it into big pail and it will last.
And it lasts.
Right?
Yeah.
So vinegar, that's why we.
I was going to say it's the same thing with the apple chutney.
Yeah.
We make big batches, like big pots full, and it lasts for usually about a month, and then we've used it all up and we have to do it again.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we top it up with chilies and garlic.
Nice.
But yes, please.
Fantastic.
Dip in.
And I'm not going to try and use chopsticks today.
That's fine.
My kids are great.
Usually
with them.
you can. This is
The fingers. I'm gonna.
this
I
is
wash
finger
my
food.
hands. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna go for the pork one. Thank you.
It's really good. I'll save you one. You can go get one. So I know that you do have connection with farmer. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so a big part of when I even started my business was I wanted to make sure that I was giving back to our local community and that I was being as environmentally friendly as possible. A lot of times, especially in Western society, it's very, what's the cheapest price? Give me the cheapest price. Instead of, are we growing things responsibly, or are we being, are we helping our neighbors? So our mentality is always, how does this affect people?
Yeah.
So our employees, how does it affect the community? How does it affect our neighbors? And then planet. So is this being grown responsibly? Is it being, how has it sat on a truck and come from Argentina? Or is this from 20 minutes down the road?
Yeah.
And then profitability. Because we're a business, we still need to have that, right? If we don't have the profitability, then we can't do the people and planet part. So everything we do, we try and find a balance between those three. It's like three circles, and right in the middle there is sustainability. So when I started my business, there was a farmer who had started maybe a year and a half before me, where they have bison on their farm. So, but they also had some freezers in their garage that they were selling meat out of from other local farmers.
Yeah.
So I went to them first when we were just a small business and said, I'd like to buy all of my meat from you. They said, well, we don't do wholesale. We don't sell to restaurants. I said, well, I'm not really a restaurant yet. So still to this day, every week, we get a delivery from that farm.
Awesome.
And they do a lot of they bring in from other farmers, but then we're able to get duck or turkeys or other meats, cheeses, other things from them, where they bring it all in and then they deliver it to us. And it's been a really great partnership for 14 years.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I do similar thing, but it's more like fresh produce. So we start to reconnect with a lot of local farmer. There are communities, Lao people, they love farming. And then I discovered them from St. Jacob Farmer Market.
Yeah.
I love to go there when I have time, like Tuesday and Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday mornings are,
Yes.
I'm never there. I'd love to be, but yeah.
Oh, so busy.
Yeah.
But then from there, I also know this couple, and I think they both retire now. When they start the farm, they're semi-retired, but they completely retire now. And there's almost every summer right now, they will produce, they grow lots of chilies for us.
Oh, nice.
So we got the chili from them every year. During around this time, they harvest them. And then we got a bunch of chili from them. And then we freeze it.
Perfect.
So we can just use it to make into chili sauce.
Yes. All year long then.
And that's what we try, and
Yeah.
sometimes they don't have enough to supply, so that we can do it all year long. So this is the chili sauce, and this will be my gift to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I heard that your husband and your kid love spicy.
Yes, my boys love
But
spicy.
so all the ingredients I'm trying to use if I can get it from local, I will get it from local.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important that I do believe you cannot grow on your own. If you cannot give back because you have more than you thought. That's the thing. And sometimes we just think that, oh, wait until I have this money, or wait until, I'm rich. And I'm like, no, you have more than that you can give now.
Yep.
So that's why I understand how important the community. So we start to work with Hope House. I do Taste of Guelph every year.
Yes, yep. That's where we met.
Yes. But also we, Michael House. I help them sometime. There's some homeless on the street and stuff like that. Like whatever I can tap my feet in, just to give, I would do that. And my team, like, more than 100% support it.
And have you heard of, do you know about Second Harvest? They're not our sponsor or anything, but foodrescue.ca. So if you have leftover food at the restaurant, you can put it on, it's an app, on all of my chefs have it on their phones, and they put extra food if we've made too much of something, or you put the food on the app, and then someone from the community, so whether it's from Hope House or from one of the shelters, they can come and pick it up that same day and serve it.
We will check on that.
Yeah, just a little tip for the future.
And the last one that we support, so we connect with Hope House, and we do a lot of things as a partner, just because the same goal. How can we give back? How can we uplift each other? Yeah. And I think it's just so important. And the more, like before, in my culture, my mom was saying that when you do something like this, usually we quiet, like don't really say it. But then I realized, if I don't say it, how can I influence younger generation to do something?
You want people to know it so that they know that they can do it too.
They can do it too. So that's why I start to speak about it more, and so because I have so many young people like message, and I share a lot about how to open business and other stuff. Then people start like, how can I do things like you do and stuff like that? How can I give and stuff like that? You have more than what you thought. Just
something to share.
Just you. Even though when you go out there and you see some people, give them a smile, that also give it. So that's why I start to share. About everything. Whatever I think just sharing is the way to connect.
Sharing food with each other?
Yes. And it's a topic to talk about too, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And I don't know. I think it makes me happier when I know that I can have some purpose, that we can serve the community. And so that's the farmer that we work every year. And I'm so happy that you're also doing something like that. Yeah. That we actually sister.
Yes. Yep.
It is. We have similar businesses, and then we also have a similar interest in terms of how can we give back to the community. But I'm so grateful. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're huggers.
Yes. Thank you, Stephanie.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's enjoy the rest of our food.